Hi. Come here. You want to say hi to everybody? You just know it's showtime. It's time to be on the mat. Reo. I know you guys can probably see her little butt behind me. She's so cute. All right. Well, hello. Hello and happy Monday. Hope everybody's doing okay. So happy that you're here, Franny. And I'm sorry you're sick. It's the worst. Rachel. Yes. Yes, I will be attending that. Yeah, man. I mean, honestly, like, I just try to not force it anymore, you know? When my body says no, I just am like, okay, great, that's fine. I'm working with you, you're working with me. So yeah. Oh yes, Shayla, I see you commenting in Patreon. Yes, emphasizing on the hips and the back. Yeah, I'm with you. When I was teaching like 1,000,001 classes in person, I would just force myself to do things, right? I would just tell myself, hey, guess what? This is what life is. You have to perform. You got to do this. And now I'm very privileged, very, very fortunate that I can just change my mind day of and pivot topics. And I'm so grateful that the people that come to stream are usually game for it, or we just line up. Like it sounds like everybody's lining up. Yeah, it's pouring rain. I'm sore. I'm tired. Yes, Holly, we're here today. Yeah, it's not worth it. I feel like it's really obvious when it's when I'm forcing it and making myself do something when I'm not in the mindset. You know what I mean? So today our focus will be recovery. We might not even go a full hour. I'm just gonna kind of go intuitively. In our Discord, I know that Naz was talking about the spot between their shoulders being really cranky. And because of how my body's feeling today, I want to really focus on my hips and my low back. But if you guys have a certain spot that's troubling you, mention it in the chat. And if you're in Patreon and you're not popped out, you can just kind of scroll around and you'll see on the bottom a YouTube thing. It'll be like, wait. It'll be like right here. And you'll just click that and it'll give you the option to pop this stream out into a browser and then you can participate in chat. Or you can just type it in the comments and I will, I'll keep my phone on me and kind of keep my peepers peeled on that. Yay, recovery is my favorite class. Me too. Jelena, anything that gets into my hip flexors, please. You got it. Hips and ankles for Holly. I love that. Yeah, there's a lot of things I like to do that will kind of two bird, one stone, all of those things. Does everybody have a foam roller? That's also the tough thing when you're not in like a studio and you're like grab the foam roller on the wall. Upper back, neck, love, hips, and ankles, yeah. Head, shoulders, knees, and toes. Roller, yes, great. Well, I'll do my best to even offer things that aren't rolly, but I love using foam rollers as a recovery tool because it's a form of self-massage. And it's something that's just like kind of stimulatory wise for me, really good, because it's just fun to like roll around on something, if that makes sense. All right. So I say we get going here because, you know, time, we want time on our side. I'm going to kill the music there. You have the hard one with the grooves. Ooh, you got the rumble roller? Shit, girl. R.I.P. R.I.P. That one scares me. That one terrifies me. One thing I do, I just have the regular one, but it's the like harder density one. When I first started learning foam roller things, it was when I was a dancer in a dance company, and our director would have us use the foam rollers all the time, and we had white ones, which were the least dense, so they have a little bit of give. From what I remember, the black ones are the most dense, but also it's like, this is an Amazon one, so I don't really know how much veracity there is to this one being a super high density roller. So we'll see how that goes. Let me get one light out here just because I'm wearing all my dark clothes and I know that y'all don't really care, but you know, just for the sight lines, I'm just gonna bust out. I'm just gonna bust out one more light. I probably should have done this before, but I was like trying to get my life together earlier. I was putting myself together with bubble gum and Q-tips. Yeah, the long rollers are awesome, Rachel. There's just, you know, the compact ones are great for travel and stuff because it's really easy to just like get them somewhere, right? Or this one's not the most fun to travel with, but the long one is really, really fantastic. All right, so just have your foam roller by your side. We're gonna start with a little bit of like foot and ankle stuff from the get-go because it seems like that's something that a lot of people wanna do. Yes, good morning, Shayla. I am looking forward to this class as well. I'm just gonna bump this down. Sorry, you're getting a very up close personal look at my face. All right. I put up the intensity on my tripod so much that I can't really manipulate it very well right now. That's okay. It'll be just fine. All right, so you can pick some music that you want to vibe to. My choice always changes. I'm always like, yeah, I want that. No, I want this. I feel like this today. All right. So we're going to get started in a kneeling position. So wherever you are, knees on the ground, have a sit on your ankles. So we're just trying to have just a little bit of an ankle stretch right now. If your knees are bothersome, know that you can even Kneel on something soft if it helps. Sorry, I'm just getting my shit organized on my phone. I like totally reorganized everything on here. So I'm like, where did I put settings? Like, where did I put all this other stuff? Okay, cool. There we go. Party. And we're going to take 5 breaths in that kneeling position. Okay? And your hands can be in your lap, on your thighs. And just grounding ourselves, becoming present with ourselves, with our bodies. We'll spend just one more breath here. And then we'll move ourselves forwards onto all fours, tabletop. Give your ankles a little break. You can even float your ankles up off the ground and circle them out. Oof. And then we'll take a couple rounds of cat-cow. We're just going to go back and forth here. Really gentle. There's no need to like keep pace. I want it to all just feel really slow, really exploratory. Be your crunchy, munchy selves right now because I'm feeling hella crunchy right now. All right. Now we'll finish off one last little round here. And then we're going to go back to kneeling, but we're going to go back to kneeling with our toes tucked. I know, I'm in the void, wearing all black on the, well, I swear to God, my mat is like a very deep purple, but it probably looks like black to you. So I'm tucking my toes and I'm sitting on my heels. Now, I don't want this to scare you, but in a yoga asana practice, this one's been called broken toe pose. But I promise we're not going to break our toes. One reason why I really like doing this one shape is because it stretches your plantar fascia. It creates a lot of space along the bottom of your foot. And it's a really excellent way to just kind of test your will for a moment, because I know this one can get really uncomfortable. So we'll spend just 3 more breaths here. All right, we'll take it back forwards. Now, instead of picking up and circling out your feet, something that you can do is just tap out your feet and ankles. So I'm just going slap, 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 slap on the ground. All right, now instead of just our traditional cat-cows here, I actually want to do barrel rolls. So you set it up the same way. Maybe you create your cat back. And then I like to start rolling to the right. So I'm going to laterally shift, move my ribs to the right, my belly button down, my ribs to the left. Your hips can also shift with you. There's no rules. There's not doing something wrong. I just want you to feel good. Let's take these circles in the opposite direction. Last 3. Last 2. And 1. We'll make it back to center. Now, I want you to lay your right foot on top of the left. Yeah, I'm going to come up close to the camera and show you. We're making an X with the feet, and then we're going to sit on your heels. Now, it should feel like the arch of your top foot is pressing into the arch of your bottom foot, right? So if you were able to get like a top view, this is what it would look like, right? It's not like this where the feet are crossed. We're trying to make a really nice X with your peats. Thanks for coming to my Pete TED Talk, all right? It's kind of like self-trigger point therapy. That's kind of the nice part about it. I notice I get a really nice / intense amount of pressure when my legs are like a little bit closer together, and I can really, really get that arch into the other arch. Crisscross banana sauce. Here for 2 more breaths. And we'll undo and we will recreate. Now just opposite foot on top. It always takes me like a little bit of wiggling to get it right. I'm gonna take off my sweatshirt. I'm feeling warm, probably because I'm beating up my feet right now. Anytime I'm treating parts of my body, like we're specifically talking about our back, right? We're talking about our hips, we're talking about ankles. One of my best strategies for bringing more comfort into these anatomical spaces is also working around them, yeah? Because in our amazing human bodies, everything is truly interconnected. Last breath here. And then we'll take it back forwards. We'll uncross our feet. They should feel pretty good after all that. And we're going to do what I like to call cat-cow child's poses. So I want you to bring your knees wide, your big toes together behind you. We're going to move into our cow position, and then we'll start to shift back towards the heels. Now, right before your buns like start to want to touch the heels, I want you to contract, creating your cat back and shift forwards, right? Cow pose or arched back, sit back. Cat back, roll forwards. I like to feel the stretch between my shoulder blades when I do that, right? So in addition to our spine creating these extensions and contractions, your shoulders are also creating your protraction and your retraction. We'll do this for 15 more seconds, and then we're gonna stay in child's pose and chill. All right, the next time you start to shift back towards that child's pose, let's stay there, forehead onto the mat. If for whatever reasons your arms are just not feeling comfortable up above your head, Know that you can walk the knees a little closer together. Bring the arms behind you. And you can turn your head from one side to the other or keep it center. All right, we'll start to bring ourselves up. We'll sit off to one side. Start to locate where your foam roller is at. And we're gonna aim to place that foam roller kind of right at your mid-back area. So if you wear bras, kind of like in the area where your bra edge starts, yeah? Now I want you to place your hands behind your head, almost like you're doing like a sit-up, yeah? You've got a nice bit of C-curve in your lower spine and in your hips. My feet are on the ground, my legs are in parallel, and I'm just going to undo the upper body. Nice. And then I'm going to bring everything back up. Good. So it's almost going to feel like a crunch. We're moving really slow and articulatory from the mid-spine upwards. Good. We'll do just 3 more of these. Two. And when you do your last one and you make your way up, press your feet into the ground, float your hips just a little bit. And then I want us to roll up and down. Good. Now foam rolling is a little bit freestyle. Everybody's going to want to focus a little bit more in one area as opposed to the other. And that's kind of the greatest part about this, is everybody's going to be having their own experiences. I'm kind of more focusing on shoulders and up, okay? You may want to focus a little more on your mid-back and your erectors, and that's totally fine. We're going to find a nice little back stretch hold here in about 10 seconds. All right, now we'll come back to kind of that midway point. We'll bring our hips back onto the ground. We'll do one more of those releases back behind. Now I want you to let go of any C-curve in the lower body. Release the arms. Hopefully the back of your head can find the ground so you can feel pretty supportive here. If you feel like you just need some support, you can bring your hands back behind you or even place a block underneath your head. All right, we got 3 more rounds of breath here, or the amount of time it would take to do 3 breaths. So I'll give us about 10 more seconds. All right, we'll bring ourselves back up from here, re-supporting the head if you let it go. And now we're going to make sure the roller is kind of in alignment with where our armpits are. If you reach your arms straight up, I want you to be able to bring them down and have the elbows kind of behind or resting right on top of the roller. We'll lean over onto our left-hand side and get into your lats. So into those nice little wings on the side. Now, this particular one I always like to throw in because my lats are very dominant and they tend to take over a lot for my shoulder structures. So when I'm here, I'm always really careful with how I'm exploring. Wow. It's very sore in there, I can already tell. So you can just kind of like lean forwards, lean backwards. You can also really gently roll up and down the roller. But again, we're trying to more focus like underneath the armpit into the wing. So we're not really trying to roll onto the shoulder or the tricep yet. In TPT terminology, clearly I'm starting to get super stoned from the rolling now. These small movements are called chugging, right? So I'm just doing a really gentle chug on my lat area. Sometimes I do the chug, but I'm a little more like leaned back, or I'm a little more leaned forward, just depends. Yeah, if you're a boob haver, just be careful those boobs don't get steamrolled. I don't have that problem, because I am part of the itty bitty titty committee, yeah? But my more blessed friends, maybe be mindful. All right, 10 more seconds here in Latland. Great, great, great. Now, I want you to use whichever hand's kind of in front of you on the ground. Push yourself up and let's scoot down so that the roller is now on your tricep, yeah? You can rest your head onto your bicep area. Cool. We're gonna roll up and down your tricep. Now what I want you to avoid is rolling over your elbow joint. Just because I don't want you to hyperextend your arm or anything. So if it even helps you to bend your elbow a little bit to just like remind yourself. But I do feel the most like, oh, like I need it really close to my elbows. You'll start to notice as you do more of this trigger point shit is that the attachments near your joints are going to kind of need the most TLC and attention. All right, last 3, last 2, and 1. I want you to turn your palm down. Again, have this top arm pressing into the ground, push, kind of roll yourself all the way up to seated. And then let's roll back to center and reset for side 2. So roller is right by where your lats are. Again, you can check yourself. If you're on a shorty, I know it's a little more challenging because you have to like shuffle a little bit. But let's roll onto our side and get into our other lat. Man, my left arm's feeling like buttered rigatoni right now. That's what I'm talking about. Brand new arm. All right, now do your little explores. I know nobody requested this, but I'm throwing it in because intuitively my body's feeling called to it. All right, and maybe you start to do little chuggaroos with me. Little up and downs. Surprisingly, this one is not as tender as the other. That's cool, I guess. Maybe I just haven't found the magic spot. You know, that's like usually the answer. I'm like, oh, you just haven't explored back there. And then I'm like, oh, that's right. Which is kind of happening to me right now. We've got 20 more seconds. All right. And whichever is your top arm, we'll push that up. We'll start to shimmy down, just taking some of the pressure off so we can get the roller into your tricep. Rest your head. That's gonna give you some pressure, right? And then we're just kind of side lying and rolling. Oh my God. My right arm, right by that elbow joint, Jesus. She needed some TLC. I'm gonna go ahead and assume it's from class last Friday. Just gonna make that guess. All right, last 10 seconds. Great. Now we'll turn our palm down. We'll push through our left arm to bring ourselves all the way up. And once we're up to seated, let's take this roller, swap position, and I want you to pop it underneath your knees. I don't want to alarm you, but this is going to be the more intensive part for some people. Let me move this blanket because I know it's just going to get all crumply underneath me. All right, so you can lean off to one side. You can, however you want to get up on your horse. We're gonna have our butt up on the roller. Our hands are going to be behind us, yeah? So I'm kind of working from like the upper, like mid edge of my butt down. And I'm just gonna slide forwards and backwards a little bit. And I'm kind of mainly doing this through like a pelvic tilt. Now, I'm going to give you this reminder after class. I'm going to give it to you mid-class. It's going to be really important throughout today, and just if you do this class, to drink some extra water. Because we're releasing and moving some stuff out of you right now. All right, let's start to get a little bit meaner, shall we? I want you to just kind of lean over onto one hip. Just choose a hip and start to get into your outer butt cheek glute area. These are all really great techniques, especially if you're dealing with excessive soreness, lactic acid buildup. This is like my go-to way of like bringing this part of my body back to life, yeah? That and a lot of hydration and a lot of good food. And by good, I just mean calories. Just giving my body what it needs. All right, let's come back to center and let's do the outer cheek of the other side. I know sometimes doing all this foam rolling stuff can be really challenging physically because you're having to like prop yourself up and move yourself around a lot. So sorry if you're feeling like this isn't as chill as I thought it would be. But these be the hips, man. All right, we're gonna come back to center and I'm just gonna start apologizing now, okay? We're gonna come all the way over to your left-hand side and I want us to be all the way sideways, yeah? That was my elbow. Come on down to your left forearm, right? I'm facing you, I'm on my left-hand side. Now your right leg, or whichever leg is not on the roller, you may prefer it behind or in front, okay? We're getting into your IT band. So we're gonna slide down the band and back up the band to the hip. Holy shit, it's been a while. And my body knows it. My best advice is to just go into your focused, made me think of that TikTok sound, like, don't bother me, I'm going into my mind palace. Like, I am in my mind palace right now. I'm trying to hold it together. All right, we got about 20 more seconds here, and if you want to use those 20 seconds and get real nasty with yourself, maybe you slide that roller a little bit lower and try to go a little bit on your outer quad, like near your knee. Again, what I mentioned about the elbows, boy oh boy does it ever apply to your knees. If you have pretty chronic knee problems, I also suggest throwing in some foam roller stuff. Yeah, now I'm starting to sweat. Last 3. Last 2. And 1. Bring yourself up. I always see God when I Roll my IT band out. Oh my God, dude. Holy shit. All right, I'm just gonna flip around and face you because I don't want to do this alone. I just need to like know that you're there, okay? All right, all the way over onto your side. I'm gonna bring my right forearm down. I'm gonna go leg in front. That worked for me last time. And we're gonna slide up and down. I'm in my mind palace again. I'm not ignoring you, I promise. I'm just in the mind palace. All right, again, if you want to venture a little closer towards your knee in that outer quad area, yikes. We'll do 10 more seconds. All right. Let's get off these rollers, shall we? Take a moment, grab some water. I need my water after that. Holy smokes. Woo! Body says yikes to that. All right. Let's do our final stretches after this. So we'll ditch the foam rollers. They served us well. Thank you. That was awful. Per usual. And we're gonna come to a Baddha Konasana position. So feet together, knees wide. Oh. And we're gonna just take it forwards. Hips and back, one of my favorite stretches for it. We'll take one more breath. Great, we'll bring ourselves back up. And we're just gonna extend out your right leg. Left sole of the foot can just come towards your pubic bone, or it can even attach all the way to the inner thigh. But we're going to do a side body stretch. That way we can get into your QLs, your low backs. Left arm reaches up. Let's head over towards our right leg. Great, one breath in. And with your exhale, bring it all the way up. Now plant your left hand behind you. You can just reach the opposite arm up and over, or if you feel like exerting a little bit, push into your hips and get space into front body. So here's where we're getting your hip flexors. And we'll bring it back down. We'll extend out the other leg, bring the right foot in towards pubic bone or attach. Right arm reaches up and up and over. right, we'll bring you back up, right hand down, left arm reaches up and over, or push into the hips and open up front body and hip flexors. Especially if you're dealing with a lot of cramps like I am, I actually really like doing things like this because we're literally trying to stretch the muscles of the front body, stretching the muscles of the abdominal wall. All right, we'll take y'all back down. We're back into our Baddha Konasana position, but just as a transition shape. So we're gonna go into either your deer or your half pigeon. So for deer, lean over to the right. You've got 2 right angles for legs, and then you'll lean over the right hip and just hang out, have a great time. If you'd rather do your half pigeon, then you can adjust, lengthen the back leg, and roll over the hip, yeah? If you feel like you didn't quite make it in the right spot, you wanna go deeper. Instead of pushing this front foot forwards, anchor it with your opposite hand, and then try to slide backwards. That way you're moving from your hip socket as opposed to forcing something into your knee joint, which is not great. All right, we'll do 3 more breaths here in whatever hip stretch you're in. And we'll bring ourselves back through center. And we'll do the same thing to the other side. So come back through your Baddha Konasana. Great. And then we'll do our deer to the left. So I'm just internally rotating my right leg, putting myself in the direction that my left knee is pointing. Yeah, hang out, live your life, think about things. Or you can roll through and do your half pigeon. Again, my suggestion, if you're seeking more depth, anchor the foot, move backwards. We have 3 more breaths. And then we'll take our very last exercises on our back. All right, we'll bring ourselves back up. And the very last thing we're gonna do is for your neck, in particular, your suboccipitals right here. You can do this with the edge of your roller or with a block. So all you're gonna do is lay back. It's a little weird because I have this XL, extra long roller. But all you're looking for is the edge. So you just want the edge of either, again, block or roller right at the base of your skull, yeah? It's a little easier to control with a block because the roller is literally rolling from side to side. But all we're gonna do is turn our head to the left and to the right. That's it. Yikes, I really need to do this. I feel like that's probably just the theme of all trigger point therapy. I should be doing this more often. Yeah, there's definitely something, some kind of demon is residing in the left side of my neck, so I'm gonna like hang out here and try to exercise it. All right, we'll do 20 more seconds because if it were just up to me, I'd probably do this for like 5 minutes straight. All right. And it's the part you've all been waiting for, ladies and gentlemen. Folks, my non-binary babies and my they-thems. Just laying on the fucking ground. Try to scoop your shoulder blades underneath you. Just taking a little 60-second grounding moment. I'm just searching from top to bottom, noticing the difference. All right, we'll start to scrape ourselves up off the ground, but we're in no rush really. I just want you to bring your knees in towards your chest. Feel your low back spread out against the ground. And you can rock a little bit. You can even happy baby for a second. Because, gotta be one of my top shapes. Want to do it every single day. And then either you can rock up and down the length of your mat. You can sit off to one side, whatever you want to do. Thank you so much for coming to class yet again. And I'm really, really grateful for everybody being so flexible and willing to change energy on the drop of a dime. Really, really means a lot. Hope you guys are feeling good. I feel al dente. I'm feeling good after that. I feel brand new. Oh, Lacey, thank you. Franny ran through a juicer. Ugh, this is like the best compliment I've ever received. You're so welcome. Thanks, Nicolette. Me too. I'm always in need. Oh, Shayla, thank you, Mama. Always a blessing to have you in class. Thank you so much for coming. Yay! So, schedules for this week. Also, don't forget, drink water. Let me grab my water. Let me drink. Let me set a good example. We will have our skills and drills on Wednesday. I should be a lot better by then because that gives me all of today, all of tomorrow. Yeah, I'll be good by then. And then beginners movement on Thursday. Then we'll have the weekend off. Yay, Itzel. Oh, that's so great. I always feel like when I do a movement class, it is like an active display of gratitude for my body. Yeah. I'm thanking it for everything that it does for me. I'm reminding it that it is loved. And I know that sounds corny. Like I legit know that this sounds like corny shit that you would hear like a really lame like influencer tell you. But me and Kamar talk about this all the time, that like when I was in really negative patterns about my body and when I wasn't treating it really nice, I would always approach movement and food and all of these things like from a mindset of like, I'm doing this because I don't like who I am, or I'm doing this because I think this is how I should look like, or, you know, it was not coming from a place of actual and true self-care and self-love. But when I do things like this for myself, my entire perspective and relationship with my body changes and continues to change. So thank you guys for doing that for yourself. I hope that's you know, a relatable thing. Or maybe it's something you're trying to, you know, create for yourself. Not corny. That's a rad practice. Yeah, Holly. No, it's really, really good. It's really important. Yes. Hi, Richard Miller. You're welcome, Miss Franny. Yes, and thank you to everybody that came. So if I don't see you next week, should be good to go with our normal situation, our normal schedule. So we'll be back to some butt kicking next Monday. And then it'll be like February probably. Yep. And just like that, it'll be February. Oh, man. Oh, thank you, Richard. Oh, Rachel, that's awesome. Yeah, even if you just try to add that in like a couple times a week. I know you're always working with your hands as somebody that does hair. So, and I feel like, you're working with your hands, working with your shoulders, and everything gets really gross up there. So it's one of my favorite stretches for the neck. Thanks, Richard. Yes, I love that Pilates ball video. I need to make another one. Well, all right, you guys, I'm going to close down stream. I have a couple things I need to clean up and get ready for the day. So I hope you all have a wonderful Monday, a wonderful rest of your week. And if I don't see you on Wednesday or Thursday, then hopefully next Monday. Guys, thank you so much for coming. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I'll see you next time.